What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel where we are going to do a solo run of FireRed with a Growlithe with a bit of a twist. I'm calling this a solo run Nuzlocke, so we have to see how far we can make it in a game without fainting. And the game is randomized, so all the trainers have random Pokemon, the gym leaders have random teams, and the items are randomized as well. So we'll see how far I can make it in this. You guys can put in the comments below how far you think I'll get. How many badges do you think I'll get? Can I get all 8? Make sure you comment that down below, and we'll go ahead and get started as I'll pick my starter, Growlithe, and you can see the other 2 starters as well are randomized. We're going to go ahead and name our Growlithe Bear. This is after one of our longtime viewers. Their dog's name is Bear. So there we go. We have the Growlithe Bear. He's going to be joining our team, and our rival will be getting the starter Onyx. And this is going to give us a bit of a typing disadvantage. Normally I'll be a little bit worried about this, but Onyx is not that great of a Pokemon. So I think with Growlithe we will be okay. So we're going to go ahead and start our first battle with our rival Green. And he's going to attack us with his Rock Snake. So we'll see what we can do against him here. This, of course, we start with Bite. And in Generation 3, it is a special move because all Dark-type moves are special. So actually, we're not at that much of a disadvantage. Plus, Bite gets a flinch. And we can take a tackle from the Onyx easily. We take 2 actually, but we come away with a win here. So that is the first battle down a drain, and now we get to move forward and making our way to Brock and see if we can defeat him. Now, before we head to Brock, I do head over to the Pokemon Mart in Viridian City to pick up some potions, and I'm actually going to spend all my money on potions here. And that's the thing I want to mention. We are allowed to use items in battle throughout this run, and my reason behind that is since I only have 1 Pokemon and the run ends if that Pokemon faints, I probably will need to use items in order to make it all the way through, because even with good Pokemon, it's hard to make it through the game without them fainting. So we're going to go ahead and do that as this drunk old man shows me how to catch Pokemon for some reason, but we don't need to learn that because we're not catching any Pokemon in this game. Now, as I went through the Viridian Forest on the way to Brock, I did pick up the items, and I want to remind everyone that the items are randomized. So we actually picked up a Firestone right here, which is kind of amazing considering we have a Growlithe. However, this is a Growlithe solo run, so we won't be using this Firestone, so we can go ahead and get rid of that. I didn't need to toss it. I actually could have sowed it, but I thought it would be appropriate for me to just toss that Firestone out. No temptations to evolve this Growlithe. Growlithe will make it all the way through here. And interesting enough to see, we picked up a Moonstone as well. So shortly after we picked up the Moonstone and the Firestone, we found a Waterstone. And this just has me thinking, what crazy person was going through this forest, dropping all of the evolutionary stones? I don't understand. It's like they had them all, and they just dropped them all throughout the forest. So when I got to Pewter City, I wanted to check the gym and see what type of Pokemon Brock was going to fight me with. Remember, it's randomized. It's still type themed, so the gyms hold a theme. It's probably not rock type. We only got to level 10 by fighting the trainers in the forest, so I didn't think that was high enough, and it really doesn't seem like it is. The first trainer sent out a Carvanha against us, meaning that Brock has a water or dark type gym. And the Carvanha didn't present too much of a problem. Bite is a really strong move, even though it's not very effective. We were able to take it out pretty easily. But not before it lowered our defenses some. So Carvanha goes down, and then the next Pokemon will solidify what kind of gym we are dealing with. But that being said, we're definitely going to have to train because we're going up against water, and it's a shelter. So yes, it's going to be a water type gym. If we're going up against water, that's going to be a bit rough for us considering we're weak to water. So after this, I decided to grind in Route 2 to about level 16. But we get rid of the shoulder pretty easily. So we're going to go ahead and grind and then take on Brock. So after our grinding section and we made it up to level 16, we're going to go ahead and take on Brock here. Now, we know he has water types. I'm coming to this a bit nervous, but it turns out level 16 may have been a bit too far. I couldn't remember if Brock was at highest level was at level 12 or 14. And it turns out it is 14. So, I mean, 16 wasn't that far, but Growlithe just outperforms these Pokemon. You can see he starts with a Totodile, and Bite takes half of its health, and we get the flinch as well, and Totodile goes down very easily right there. That battle was much easier than I thought it was, and I think most of it is due to the flinching that Bite causes. So we get to start again against a Celio, another scary Pokemon. Bite barely does as much as it did to the Totodile, but we get the flinch. And Brock here is making a mistake by using Defense Curl because Bite is a special attack we mentioned before. And we get the flinch again, and the Defense Curl does nothing. Celio goes down extremely easily. This was unexpected. I really thought him using Water Pokemon might have lost me this run, but it turns out he didn't use any Water moves. He went for Defense Curl for some reason, and Bite is just overpowered at this point in the game, especially since my Growlithe has a nature that raises his special attack stat. So it is definitely working in our favor so far. So that's one batch down. While going through Mount Moon on our way to Cerulean, I picked up the Shell Bell, and I thought this would actually be a really good addition because the Shell Bell adds a little bit of HP for every bit of damage that you do. So if I attack the opposing Pokemon and do some damage, then we'll get some HP back. And I thought that was huge because even 1 or 2 HP can make the difference from me losing the game and making it through a battle. So you never know, especially when you're dealing with just one type, and we're going to have to go up against Pokemon that we are weak to. So we picked up the Shell Bell. That also helps me heal while going through like the caves and things, so I don't have to run back to the Pokemon Center or use potions as much. At the end of Mount Moon, we get to pick a fossil, and I pick the Dome Fossil because I wanted to give a special middle finger to all of you who worship this Helix Fossil over here. When we got to Cerulean City, I wasn't sure whether I should fight my rival or take on the gym first. So I decided to just see what type of Pokemon Misty was going to fight me with, and then we'll decide after that. And it turns out after the first battle, Misty actually has flying type Pokemon, which present no issue for us. And so I figured we were at level 22, which is about the level that Misty is at anyway. So we can probably go ahead and take her on. Now, Misty's battle was a little interesting. It starts off as you expect. She pulls out a normal flying type Pokemon, and it's not too difficult. She has Pidgeotto at level 18. We're still at level 22 by now, and we go for the same strategy of using Bite, trying to get flinches on the Pidgeotto. But Pidgeotto has Quick Attack, which kind of negates my ability to get flinches. Now, Bite does a decent amount of damage, but if it uses Quick Attack, we can't flinch it. We do get a second Bite without her using Quick Attack, and we do get a flinch off, so we should beat the Pidgeotto. But of course, Misty uses a Super Potion, as she always does. So we're just going to continue to Bite. We have plenty of PP on that, and we heal back some HP with the Shell Bell. There goes the Quick Attack there, so she's not going to flinch again. We win if she doesn't use a Quick Attack, though, so we might, and she goes for a Quick Attack again. Doesn't matter. It does a bit of damage, which is lower than I want to be, going into her second Pokemon. And what a surprise this Pokemon is, as you'll see. So, of course, she uses the flying type and she sends out a Charizard. Now, we're not weak to Charizard, but I mean, I guess it is a flying type. Don't really usually think of Charizard to be a flying type, but that's what she pulls out. And it's a fully evolved Pokemon. Growlithe is definitely at a disadvantage here. We're only 2 levels above it. And I wasn't sure exactly what to do. So her Charizard starts off with a smoke screen. I go for bite here. Now smoke screen does worry me just a little bit because I have no way of improving my accuracy. So if I start missing attacks, this could be very bad for us. But we try for bite anyway. Charizard is faster and he keeps going for that smoke screen. That's 2 accuracy points down. And we go for bite again. Problem with him being faster, I can't get a flinch off, and that's been the strategy so far. 3 smoke screens, and this is becoming really dangerous. We haven't missed yet, surprisingly, and we have him in the yellow already, so I'm just hoping that we don't start missing. But it goes for Ember instead of smoke screen, and that was great because we have Flash Fire as an ability. This time it goes for Metal Claw. That does a bit of damage, but it's not very effective. I go for Ember thinking the Flash Fire would have made it do more, but unfortunately it didn't. I should have gone for a bite there, but I didn't. He keeps going for Metal Claw. Metal Claw's a bit scary too because it can raise his attack stat just as it did right there. And it's okay though. It doesn't get another chance to attack because we defeat it with Ember and we win that battle. That Charizard could have gone a completely different direction. Everything seemed to fall in line for us there. So we were able to get past Misty with no problem. Alrighty, so after we fight Misty, it's time to take on our next rival battle. He does carry his starter throughout the game, so he will still have his Onyx. So we're going to have to fight his Rock Hard Snake again, but I believe we can penetrate its defenses with our Bite, being that it's a special move. Lombre was the first Pokemon out. It did not... it was not a problem, I should say. I'm surprised he didn't use any water moves. I was a bit afraid of that when he sent it out, but he didn't, and we were able to get past that pretty easily. And then we can move on. He's going to go ahead and send out his Onyx, of course, because it has a typing advantage against us. But we're still faster. Bite does over half of Onyx's health there. It's kind of insane. He was going to go for a Screech. I do think if he had used a rock move after that, that would have been detrimental to us. However, we just outspeed him and are able to get rid of him before he has the chance. Especially after that Screech, that would have been really dangerous. But we're past the Onyx already. No big deal for us. And he has 2 Pokemon left. He's going to go ahead with a Nuzleaf, of course, which is easy. We can just Ember that, and that is 1 shot done. And then he moves on to his last Pokemon, which is a Lotad. Lotad does not present too much of an issue for us. So we're going to go ahead and take care of that with a couple of bites. And then we're done with the next rival fight. So after we help Bill out with his furry mishap, we go ahead and fight this Team Rocket member and steal the Dig TM from him, which he stole. We didn't return it, so I guess that makes us thieves as well. But anyhow, the Dig TM is actually pretty huge for us because Growlithe can learn Dig, and that gives us a lot of coverage. Dig is good against other fire types and rock types, which we have a weakness to. So this is going to be huge for us. We're going to teach Bear Dig, and we'll be using this in the future to help us get past some more difficult foes. Our next stop was the SSN, and while looking around on the boat, we found the King's Rock. And this is going to be useful, especially since the King's Rock can cause the foe Pokemon to flinch. And that, in conjunction with Bite, may help us out a lot, especially now we're at a pretty high level. In fact, I've been skipping over some unneeded battles because I didn't want to be too over leveled, but being at level 30 or almost level 30, we're going to be faster than a lot of Pokemon, so being able to use Bite plus the King's Rock should help us out. Alright, so the next fight was the rival fight on the SSN, and judging on how it went last time, I don't think we were going to have too much of a problem. Of course, he does have a different team, so it could be something that is problematic for us. But since we just picked up Dig and it looks like he's going to be using poison type Pokemon throughout this battle, I think we're going to be okay. So we use Dig on the Nidorina as that comes up. We do make it flinch due to having the King's Rock, which is good because that's it. I can also make the Pokemon flinch with other moves besides Bite. It increases the chances with Bite, and we can make them flinch regardless. Unfortunately, we do get poisoned with Poison Point there. I did buy antidotes, so we're going to go ahead and cure that poison because having a status effect like that could really be problematic in a long battle. He does have 4 Pokemon, I believe, so we don't really want to deal with that. Our level is way over his here. It's just way over his. I didn't expect to be this over leveled. We are only using 1 Pokemon, so in solo runs you tend to be over leveled because your experience isn't being spread out to other Pokemon. But we're almost twice his level here. The Quillfish goes down pretty easily. And then he sends out his rock hard snake again. We can deal with it easier. We don't have to bite it this time. We can just dig, and that should do away with it right there. It doesn't. You think I remember these battles, but apparently I don't. It actually does less than half Onyx's health, which is interesting. I would have thought it would have done more, but unfortunately it didn't for us. So we're gonna have to use it again. This time we do drop the Onyx. So Onyx is done, and I believe he only has 1 Pokemon left for us to deal with, and it's a Nidorino, which is going to be easy. Again, we are lots of levels above him at the moment, so we are good to go. And that's another rival fight down. So after we rubbed off an old man on the SSN, he gave us the ability to use Cut. So now we can get into Lieutenant Surge's gym, which is the worst design gym of all the gyms. Like, oh my, who thought of this? So now we have to see how quickly we can find the 2 switches. It made me think though that because when there's no switch, it says there's nothing but trash. So does Lieutenant Surge like have someone fill all the cans with trash, or like does he leave the trash cans there? I don't. How long has that trash been there? Does anyone empty it? I don't know. Anyhow, this gym is a bug type gym, so not anything that we really have to worry about since we're fire type. We do only have Ember. It'd be nice to have a stronger fire move, but at the moment we do not. After we did the required dumpster diving with Lieutenant Surge, we're now in battle with him. He has 3 Pokemon. He starts with the Pineco, which in Nuzlocke are usually scary because Pineco explodes. But I believe we're okay here. Pineco starts with Protect, which is annoying, but we can Ember him the next turn, and it's a one-shot for that. So next, Lieutenant Surge is going to go ahead and send out his Paris, which is 4 times weak against fire, an even lower level. Paris is a joke, so that is it. And Lieutenant Surge is turning out to be a pushover, at least looking like one. And he has a Heracross, usually a strong Pokemon, but we're doing pretty well against it. Over half his health with 1 Ember. And then he uses Brick Break, which That if Ember wasn't doing so much, that would have been extremely dangerous for us, because that brick break, if you saw, almost did half of our health. That was insane. But that's another badge down for us. And so far, this solo run seems to be a bit easy. Hopefully we can keep this up. After I went through the rock tunnel, I skipped right past Lavender Town and went ahead to Celadon City, where we can continue our journey. First, I need to stop by this old lady and get a cup of tea, hopefully in a thermos, otherwise that's going to spill everywhere. Also, we're going to make our way to the back of the building to pick up one of the greatest Pokemon ever. That Pokemon, of course, is Eevee, which can be found at the top of this tower. And of course, we're not going to use it, but it's not an Eevee, it's an Oddish. After I got over my severe depression from not getting an Eevee, I made my way to Erica's gym. And of course, as always, we want to check and see what typing they are. And Erica randomized to a grass type gym because she is basic. So this is definitely going to be an easy gym for us. Grass types are, yeah, easy. We're fire type. Alrighty, so now we get to take on Erica. And she starts with a Blossom at level 29. We're a bit over leveled for this, but again, it's kind of hard not to be when you're only playing with one Pokemon. The difference is the Growlithe is a pretty decent Pokemon, but at this point I was getting pretty worried that my level was going to make the challenge too easy. However, I was wrong, and we'll find out about that later. Not here. Erica was actually very easy. We had the type advantage and a level advantage, so we're able to take her on pretty easily. Tropius starts with a sweet scent, doesn't really do anything. It actually lives this flame wheel here with like 1 HP, which was kind of amazing considering we're 11 levels ahead of it. But she uses a potion, and that allows me to hit the Tropius twice, so it will go down in the next turn. And then her last Pokemon is going to be, I don't know if you can hear my daughter in the background. I've tried to record this several times, but they just won't be quiet. So you're going to hear them. Here we go. So Erica's last Pokemon is an Executor at level 29. Pretty good Pokemon, but can't withstand the Flame Wheel. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get our next badge. So we have 4 so far. So if you thought I wouldn't get up to 4, you were wrong. So after Erica, we find Team Rocket's secret hideout because someone had the smart idea of guarding the switch behind the poster. Not a really good secret switch if you put someone out to guard it. But now we get to take on Team Rocket and see if we can defeat Giovanni. Alright, so in our fight with Giovanni, he actually has a ground type Pokemon. He sends out a Pupitar first, which I thought would be good because we have Dig. Dig was definitely a lifesaver for us. It does not one-shot the Pupitar though, and it uses Screech, which is a bit scary because if we get hit with a strong rock type move, that could be it for us. And Pupitar does go for Rock Slide. Fortunately, we were underground at the time, so we're able to make it through without getting hit by that. And that was definitely a scary moment because our defense is way down now. We have no way of increasing it. We're fighting against a Phanpy now, which isn't too bad. So this is an easy bit for us. And we can just use Bite to make it through the Phanpy. And he has a Donphan last. Now Donphan was a bit worrisome. I wasn't sure if it would have rollout, but if it did, I figured Dig would be the best way to go because it will cause rollout to miss, so he can never gain speed with it and raise the attack. Dig did almost nothing. It was an atrocious amount of damage to that Donphan, and this is when I started to get worried. We only have 4 digs left, So I decided to go for Bite, which does about the same amount, but that King's Rock plus Bite's ability to flinch, and then we get a crit here. Helped us out. Donphan actually flinches twice, so we can make it past Giovanni. That, even though we didn't lose HP there, could have come close if we didn't get those flinches, depending on what moves Giovanni chose to use. We went for Fury attacks first, which wasn't the greatest, but that definitely could have been dangerous. I don't know what Donphan's moveset was right there. However, we made it through, so we can make it back to Lavender Town. So back in Lavender Town, we're going to take on our rival again this time. I don't know, is this rival 4 or 5? I'm not sure. We're taking on our rival. He has grass-type Pokemon again, I believe. Or it could have been Psychic. I actually didn't remember. But he's going to attack us with his Rock Hard Snake again. This time it's evolved, though, so it's even harder. But we're good because we have both Flame Wheel and Dig. I opt to go for the Flame Wheel here. I wasn't sure which would do more, but Flame Wheel actually one-shots the Steelix, and it is done, which was very surprising. So he does have the Grass-type Pokemon, so we continue to go for our Fire moves, which is pretty good. Light Leap, surprisingly, doesn't actually go down in one hit. And we use a Bite to finish that off. And then he has about 2 Pokemon left. He has the Chikorita, which is definitely easy for us. And then we just have to worry about his last Pokemon, which wasn't really worrisome at all. He's got a Growlithe. Growlithe's a good Pokemon. Quick attacks us. We go for the Flame Wheel again. And it's only at level 20, so we're literally almost 20 levels higher than it. So we get to one-shot it. I think his levels are actually a bit lower because you can fight him before you go to Celadon. But with that being said, we were actually pretty good, and we'll continue on. So we make our way to the top of the tower, and here's where I realized that I forgot to randomize static Pokemon. So when we get to the Marowak, it's actually a Marowak, level 30. We're a bit higher level than it. We do make it flinch with the first bite, but we are weak to ground, so I'm a bit worried here. Marowak goes for focus energy, so it's more ready to crit. I don't know why I went for a Flame Wheel, but I thought it might do more since we got stabbed, and it actually did. Marowak's all the way down into the red, and there goes the Boomerang, and that is it. We are one and done. He gets a crit. And this is where we lose. This is where we faint. We almost got past it too. The Marowak got all the way down into the red, and we just couldn't do it, unfortunately. So this is where this solo run ends. We got 4 badges, which I think was pretty good. If you liked the video, make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel for more playthroughs like this. I want to do more. So put in the comments below what you think I should do in the future, as far as like what Pokemon we want to use. Should I do a different generation? Should we do a different game? Put your suggestions in the comments below, and we'll try and do those. With that being said, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next time.